The best place for sunrise. Just open up your door to breathe in the sunshine. Sing with us on the porch.
Today is September 19th, 2015. Joining us on the porch is local business owner James Toy.
The best place for family. What are you waiting for? Where friendships run deeper. Come join us on the porch. So glad you're on the
porch. That's right, kids. You have arrived just in time for another jam-packed, exciting episode of On the Porch Radio Hour. And usually, I think it's jam-packed, but today, it's jam-packed. Jam-packed like a tasty treat. Jam-packed like a sandwich, bursting at the seams with the most delicious food you've ever had. Not just because you're listening to some delightful things, like my voice, but because James Toy is here, and I am so pumped to talk to him. Now, of course, I have to give you just a little bit of insight as to how James and I met. It just so happened that James and I were both self-employed. We decided we wouldn't call ourselves unemployed, but we were both self-employed, and we were in the middle of doing very cool things leading up to some even more incredible self-employment. And apparently, the stars aligned, and we were both interested in taking a basket weaving class. And as we were talking over our baskets one day, James started talking about bacon. And we were weaving, and we were talking about bacon, and we were talking about local bacon and how much more delicious that is than store-bought bacon, and how you can buy local bacon, and how it gets smoked, and how we would slice it ourselves, and we were just so pumped. So we decided that after the next basket weaving class, we were going to go out together, and we were going to make bacon. Like, we were just going to get bacon and make it. So class was always Friday night, and we met Saturday morning. And what we decided to do was we decided to slice the bacon and combine everything we'd learned in the basket weaving class so far. And we weaved all of the bacon together into one giant sheet. So it was like a bacon blankie. So if I was going to send my kids to bed with food, I would send them with their bacon blankie so that they could smell nice in the morning when they got up. I mean, how much fun is that? And James and I talked about this too, how excited we got with the idea of just like shooting out of bed in the morning, like all greased up and just like shooting out of the sheets from under our bacon woven happiness. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, you don't even have to get up for your midnight snack. Because we also thought that by doing this, we were eliminating a whole bunch of process in how you make pigs in a blanket, because then the pig was just the blanket. So there was so many incredible things that came out of this, and then, I continued to weave baskets, and James decided to open a restaurant. And so that's why he's here. We're not going to talk about basket weaving. We are going to talk about his new adventure. Well, it's not a new adventure for him to be a chef, but this new restaurant is a new adventure for him, and I'm super pumped and really glad to have James on the show. You also get to hear all sorts of good music from our good friend Gina Holsapple today as well. But until we get to that point, I'd like to say, James, you're on the porch. James, I'm going to start with a place that we haven't talked yet. And I'm wondering if you grew up in Central New York.
Yes, I did. I was born in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I was an Army brat.
Uh-huh.
But I was only 2 when we left.
Okay.
So it doesn't really make me a brat.
Well, at least that part doesn't make you a brat.
My family's from the Minetto area.
Oh, nice.
I lived in Minetto majority of my growing up years, and then moved to the country in Scriba later on. But yeah, I spent my first 2 years out of here and the next 18 here.
Okay. Nice. And then you ended up traveling to all sorts of places?
I moved to Binghamton after I got out of high school. And then I hitchhiked when it was favorable to hitchhike. Not so favorable these days.
Yeah.
I hitchhiked to Colorado in
right.
February of 1985.
Okay.
It was a bit cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I spent 6 years there.
Okay.
And had a good time. It's God's country out there.
Yeah, that's real nice
beautiful.
in Colorado.
Had a little mobile car wash business.
Nice.
Washed 1,700 cars a week.
Get out of here.
1,700. It's 65 cents a car.
Yeah, you'd have to wash 1,700 cars. Holy
yeah, it wasn't a lot of money in it.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a lot of cars.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there because I can't listen anymore until I know more about how this works. So you have a van,
pickup truck.
You have a pickup truck.
Well, actually, it's a flatbed truck.
Okay.
It was a 1972 Ford flatbed.
Nice.
Had a 300-gallon water tank on it and a 2,000 psi pump. With an 8-horse Briggs & Stratton.
I'm seeing it. Okay.
200-foot of high-pressure hose and a spray gun.
And a spray gun.
Yep.
It's like every kid's dream.
Not really.
No?
No.
Maybe. Man, it's like this kid's dream.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can show you where to go if you want to do it.
That would be
They don't get
awesome.
65 cents anymore.
Right.
No.
Right. I could probably get $2 or something.
No.
No?
Not so much.
All right. So
maybe $1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's better than 65 cents, I guess.
Yeah, but it's 70 hours a week.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got done. You were said I'm hanging up my water hose. You got pregnant. All right.
Not me.
Well, right, but
my first wife.
Okay.
Yep.
And it was time to hang up the hose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I decided that too after my first kid. I was like, never again.
I didn't. I had 2 more after that, so yeah, didn't hang the hose up.
Yeah, me. I have 4 now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so then you've got I have to get focused. So then you've got a kid.
Yes.
And you start doing what then?
Worked 2 jobs. Waited tables at Friendly's in the morning from 6 until 1 in the afternoon. Grabbed a quick nap, and then I worked from 4 to 9 at Red Lobster.
Holy cow.
So, and then on the weekends I came back up here and spent time with my parents and baby and drove back down. So
then you decide that as you are, a waiter and bussing tables in these, gourmet franchises, you decide it's time for me to take this on myself, or
I took another job at the Olive Garden.
Okay.
But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then what?
I got picked due to performance within the region. There was 17 stores in our region, and we were actually number 7.
Okay.
And I got picked to become an opening team member.
Mm-hmm.
I did 17 openings all over the central and northern East Coast.
Okay.
Go in, train entire staffs in the kitchen on how to prepare, what to prepare, sanitation, how to handle food, and all that fun stuff. And then teach them how to cook it.
Man, that's neat.
It's not so much.
No, you still okay. So, man, we're gonna find something that's neat here in a minute, and cool. So then you do that for a while. You do all of these openings and trainings with the Olive Garden. Mm-hmm. At what point do you can Friendly's and the Red Lobster?
About the time that I started doing the openings, because I was out of town for 2 to 3 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, I bet.
Not so much when we were working, but after work we had a lot of fun.
Right, yeah, traveling and
Yeah, it was a lot of
hanging
fun
out.
then.
That's cool. Not yet. It's not cool. So then you get tired of traveling. I'm making assumptions here.
Yes.
Okay, so you get tired of traveling and you want to spend time with your family. Maybe not yet? Okay, so then what?
I found out about a position in Syracuse
Mm-hmm.
to take over as a kitchen manager. But I took that position, and then after about a year and a half of doing that, I took a position with Cracker Barrel.
Oh, wow.
They came looking for me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get kind of caught up. At
Yeah,
this point,
yeah.
I've got 3 kids, newly divorced,
Mm-hmm.
and working on the second one.
Yeah. The second divorce?
No, the second marriage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, that one comes later.
Oh, okay.
So we're up to about 1994 at this point.
Okay.
I took a position with Cracker Barrel. I got married, had 3 days for a honeymoon, and then moved to Columbus, Ohio.
And then, okay, so you continue down this path, right?
Mhm.
Until you eventually decide that it's time for you to be doing your own thing.
I actually was a general manager with Uno's. I started with Uno's
Holy
Pizzeria
cow.
in Columbus. Was great. Loved it.
And then what?
Then worked with them for 7 years. Year and a half into my career with them, they approached me to further my education.
Mm-hmm.
So they paid for me to go to Johnson & Wales.
All
I
right.
said thank you.
Yeah.
And then I went back and took over as a Heartland Division executive chef.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, no.
Not a
No,
good thing.
not there yet. Not
No.
there. Not
Love the
that-
food. Love to cook.
Yeah.
It's my passion.
Mm-hmm.
70 hours a week. 2 500-person blind taste tests with 5 items for each one every week.
Wow.
Training manuals, rollouts, training. Travel to 216 stores in my division.
Man.
Not fun.
No.
No. It's a lot of hours.
That's a lot. Yeah. I was just
Yeah, and when your doctor tells you to find a new career or plan a funeral.
right. New career.
Yeah, new career
There it
usually comes down the line.
There it is.
So I did. I left. Found something else to do.
Still food related.
Not even close.
No. All right.
No. I was chief engineer at Bates Troy Laundry in Binghamton, New York.
All right. Did you dream about food the whole time you were doing laundry?
No, I made up for it cooking at home.
Nice.
Yeah, to the tune of about 46 pounds.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I blew up like a balloon.
That's good food.
Yeah. I wasn't cooking there. I was cooking at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not neat.
It wasn't good. Doctor
No.
didn't like that at all.
No. Not at all.
No. He said, that's enough of that. And I said, what, working? He said, no, eat.
Eating, yeah. Right.
At that point, I went on the road.
Mm-hmm.
We turned a 72-bay post office into an industrial laundry.
Holy cow.
No.
No.
No fun.
No fun.
Then I decided that was enough of the traveling.
Yep.
Went back to Columbus. Took a job with Jillian's. They transferred me to Rochester. I was like, geez, great.
Yeah.
Swore I'd never come back to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Then they closed Jillian's. They downsized. So I moved back to Oswego because my mom was sick.
Okay.
And started working with some local people here in town.
Yep.
Got the fire and the passion back.
Yeah.
Opened Alex's on the Water
Yep.
as a sous chef with
Yep.
Tom Waite. Left there after a short period of time. After that, I left there and took a job with Ray Jock
Yeah.
at La Paria.
Nice.
Probably the most fun I've had in a restaurant in a long time. Then it was time to do something on my own.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
and that's where we're at now.
And so now you're doing it, and you are experimenting a ton. We did some chat before the actual interview started, and it was really exciting to see the passion and the fire that you were just talking about happening. And you're like, oh, we're not going to talk about the menu, which I think is really exciting, because then then we
There's
get
a
to
lot of people that want to know about the
Well,
menu.
I'm sure they do, and I want to build it up so they get even more excited. And then you're like, we're not going to talk about the menu, but it was awesome to hear about the process of like how you're experimenting and you're making stuff at home. And you said you were working on this one thing for quite a bit of time, and then like that spark showed up, and you're like, but I finally got it.
I did. I finally got it. It took a long time and a lot of mess.
Yeah.
My wife didn't like me for a couple weeks. But we've been playing with a lot of the stuff that's going to be on the menu. I'm excited about the menu.
Yeah.
I think the city of Oswego is going to be real excited about the menu.
Yeah, I think so. Just because I have loved hearing the process. Okay, so you have bought the Cidermoon space.
Yeah, we bought that as a turnkey.
Yep.
We bought the trademark, the LLC, and all the equipment. Yeah, it'll still operate as Cidermoon.
Fantastic.
We'll still offer the same great coffee that Diane did when she owned it.
Perfect. Yeah. There's some folks in the crowd that are excited about that. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are excited. Even though we're not open, we've still been supplying many of our customers with coffee.
All right.
I don't know if we're supposed to or not, but they're customers, and that's what we do. We take care of our customers.
Yeah.
We'll still offer the Kenyan AA, the Costa Rican Medium Dawn, but we're going to have a couple other ones.
All right.
That I've been playing with.
That's exciting.
We're going to have ones called Colombian Honey. I had a couple of people try it, and they were like, "Where'd you get that?" And I was like, "You're only going to get that one place." And they're like, "Where's that?" I said, "It's Cidermoon."
Yeah.
As soon as we open, you'll start seeing that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I actually like it. I'm a big coffee nut anyway, but I like dark coffees.
Yeah, me too. When I'm allowed to
This
drink
one's
it.
not. When you're allowed to drink it?
Yeah. Caffeine and I don't.
I can see that.
We don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get really very fast.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
Excited.
But I need that in the morning. It's that jump start.
Sure. Yeah.
Can't say my cardiologist agrees with me.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not neat.
No.
So tell us, it's in the same location, obviously, because it's the same
170
building,
West First Street.
Perfect. And we were talking about your website.
Yes.
And is that up now?
It is currently down, being redone.
Cool.
So we're going to streamline that. Instead of going to 3 or 4 different places, it's going to be one quick, easy pay. You can pay with a credit card. You can pay with your PayPal account, period. End of story.
Nice.
If you want to mail us a check or a money order when that clears, we'll send your coffee out to you too. We still have that option available.
Nice.
But all of our coffees will be listed seasonally. We'll sell different things as well.
Okay.
Besides the coffee, we'll do cookies during the Christmas season. We'll probably do a couple of different breads during the Easter season.
Nice.
For people that follow that. For the most part, coffee.
Nice. And sandwiches.
Great sandwiches.
Yeah, great. I'm sorry. Great sandwiches. Yeah.
A lot of time and effort went into putting these sandwiches together.
Yes.
We will make everything in-house. Now, we're not raising pigs and that in-house.
Right.
We make our own bread. We are partnering with New Hope Mills out of Ithaca to supply us with our baking needs. Nice. We retained the baker that Diane had.
She's fantastic.
Amelia is a wonderful, wonderful person.
Yeah.
She really, and she's currently going through a culinary class herself.
Nice.
To further along her knowledge.
Wow.
Which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's in tune with what we want to do. So we're just gonna have some fun.
Yeah. I'm so looking forward to this.
Yep.
Tell us the website so that once it's up, people can find it.
Once it's up, it'll be cidermooncoffee.com.
Okay. Perfect.
Simple and easy.
Yeah.
We own the domain on that.
How late will you be open?
We will be open until 4 p.m. every day, with the exception of Friday.
Okay.
Friday will be open till 5.
Nice.
We want to be able to service the customers that need the stuff to go out of town for the weekend, or people that can't get to us during normal business hours.
Right. That's great.
And then we're open on Saturday from 7 a.m. till 2 p.m.
Cool. That's real cool.
And Sunday.
Yes. That's lovely.
We will be closed Tuesdays.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah.
Hey, so you don't have to answer me now, but once you open, consider staying open on a Thursday until, say, 8:30 and see if maybe we can hook up again and we can maybe broadcast from and record a show at Cidermoon.
Love to.
Yeah, think about it. Do a coffee tasting?
Well, I'll probably try and work it in. I've been working. I've talked with an individual who will be opening another new business in Oswego.
Okay.
A microbrewery.
Nice.
And we've been talking that we'd like to do a closed door happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
Cost you $5 to get in. I'll put hors d'oeuvres out, and you get to sample the beer that he's producing locally.
Yeah.
Creating jobs locally.
That's a great idea.
So we can, if we can work that into that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that that we can really turn that into a nice event.
I agree. This has been an excellent interview. And it's
thank
been
you.
really great chatting with you, too, on the air and off the air. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for being on the port. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, James. And now, a word from our sponsor. Do you have a garden? Do you get stuck with vegetables that aren't ripening in that garden? Well, look no further, folks, because we've got the product for you. Unripened fried foods fryer. That's correct. Have you ever had fried green tomatoes? They're unripe. Have you ever had fried zucchini? They use unripe zucchini for that. How about fried cheese? I don't know anything about ripening or not ripening cheese. But the unripened fried foods fryer will fry your cheese if you like. But imagine this, a fryer that will only fry your unripened foods like no other fryer can. It has a selection knob so that you can point the little arrow to whatever unripened vegetable you're trying to fry. There's at least 89 different selections on this knob. The knob is so large and so wonderful it comes in a separate box. But that's not all. There's an oil cleaner so that you don't have to change out your oil once a week. No, you can keep your oil in there at least for a month and fry your unripened food all the time. You just turn the nozzle to the vegetable that you want or the fruit that you want to fry, and it has its own timer. It knows exactly how long it needs to fry that food to a beautiful, unripened, delicious treat. I know what you're thinking. What if I want to fry my ice cream? Go ahead. There's a selection for that. And do you know what to batter your unripened foods with? Don't worry about that. We have a book with another 89 recipes for batters to dip your foods in to fry. So the next time you're listening to On the Porch Radio Hour and you're feeling like a treat, walk into the kitchen, turn on your unripened fried foods fryer, put it on the food that you want to fry, dip it in your batter, and away you go. And for a limited time, if you call within the next 5 minutes, not only will we send you your unripened fried foods fryer and the dial and the recipes for all your batters, but we will send you a photograph of the host of On the Porch Radio Hour signed by the man himself. I'm Matthew Wood, and I endorse this product. You're listening to On the Porch Radio Hour. We'll be back in a moment.
What's happening in Central New York? Ontario Orchard's Fall Jamboree is this weekend at their farm in Sterling. The event features wagon rides, a corn maze, you pick apples, vendors, entertainment, and more. Visit OntarioOrchards.com for more information. The Oswego Music Hall presents Cozy Sheridan on Saturday, September 26th at 7:30 p.m., as well as the first open mic of the season, which will be hosted by Bob Halligan Jr. at 7 p.m. on Friday, September 25th. Visit OswegoMusicHall.org for more information. Oswego's first annual Porch Fest is tomorrow from 1 to 5. This free event features local musicians performing from the porches of Montcalm Park and Franklin Square homes. More information is available at OswegoPorchFest.com. The CNY Pagan Pride Day is at Long Branch Park today. There will be vendors, performances, and workshops throughout the day. For more information, visit cnyppd.com. Open skate sessions at SUNY Oswego resume this month. Visit oswego.edu for more information. The End of the Embargo closes tomorrow at the Art Association of Oswego, featuring Cuban paintings from the collection of Eugenio Basualdo. The gallery is open today from 10 to 1 and tomorrow from 1 to 4. For more information, call 315-216-6782. The Port City Co-op hosts an outdoor flea market at West Bridge and 2nd Streets in Oswego on the first and third Sundays of each month from 12 to 5 p.m. For more information, contact the Port City Co-op at 315-529-5177. Upcoming events at the CNY Arts Center include the next event in the Dessert Theater series on Saturday, September 26th at 8 p.m. with a concert from Jason Bean. The cast of Oliver will take the stage the first 2 weekends in November. There are also upcoming classes in cake decorating and a glee club for both adults and children. The next Writers Cafe is the last Sunday of the month, with the next session on September 27th at 6 p.m. Visit cnyartcenter.com for more information. The Red Room Sessions at the Wooden Apple Farmstead are a time for songwriters, musicians, and anyone else who wants to build their musical skill and knowledge to get together. We share songs we are working on, bounce musical ideas off each other, and we usually have time to just play a little music. This is a supportive environment where all levels of songwriting and musical experience are welcome. The next session is September 27th at 6 p.m. For more information, visit Wooden Apple Farmstead on Facebook or call 315-591-0711.
I'd like to welcome on the Porch Radio Hour's music director, Gina Holsapple. She's going to sing us a couple of songs, right? You're going to give us one right now anyway.
I'm going to give you one right now. Yeah, I decided I'm going to play a couple of my favorite covers, a couple of the first songs that I learned to play and sing when I was in high school. So
that's a treat. You don't do a lot of those.
I don't. It's fun.
Yeah, man. Only here on the porch. Thanks, Gina.
Well, I'm wilder than her. What else can I say? Yes, that is why she fell in love with me. She's a house on fire. She's got all those charms. I'm a house on fire too, but I've got 5 alarms, and I'm wilder than her, and it drives her out of her mind. Yes, she
Thanks, Gina. Hey, stay up here for a second because I think it's a good idea for us to finally share our predictions for the Emmy Awards.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this.
Me too. Because they're this Sunday, right? I think the Emmys are this Sunday. And, one thing that is really exciting for us here at the Wooden Apple Farmstead is that we don't own any televisions. And so we've done our research.
Yeah, we have.
And we're ready to make our predictions for the Emmy Awards. Now, I had originally picked 11 categories, but we're not going to do them all. So we are going to do these predictions. Are you ready, Gina?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Outstanding lead actress in a drama series.
Yep.
Outstanding lead actor in a drama series.
Got it.
Outstanding supporting actress in a drama series.
Yep.
Outstanding supporting actor in a drama series.
Uh-huh.
Lead actress in a comedy series. Lead actor in a comedy series. Supporting actress in a comedy series. And supporting actor in a comedy series. So we're covering the dramas and the comedies. The actors and the actresses, leading and supporting. Well, maybe we won't have time for all these. But anyway, shall we get started?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Our first category is Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series.
Totally.
All right. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna have to go with Catherine Bach. From her role as Daisy Duke in The Dukes of Hazzard, she really brings an element of comic relief and strong female qualities to a show that would be great without that, but unstoppable with it.
Okay, so for the exact same reasons, I chose Vivian Vance for her role as Ethel Mertz in I Love Lucy.
Haha.
Mm-hmm. She and Lucille Ball play wonderfully off each other, and Vivian really drives the comedic point home. With that being said, I think I Love Lucy is going to take the lion's share of the comedy category awards this year.
That's a bold statement. Although I agree that the quality of acting and humor are almost unmatched, I really think the writers are missing the boat by not addressing more current issues. I feel like they're playing it safe a little. But with that said, let's dive into the Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, because I think that William Frawley, who plays Ethel's husband, Fred Mertz, is a great play-off of Desi Arnaz's style and really makes Desi seem more funny than he actually is on his own. And, side note, I think the rest of the cast really carries Desi in his role.
I couldn't agree more. William Frawley from I Love Lucy, it is for me too. Totally.
All right, then. Let's move on to supporting actresses and actors in the drama series. This one is a little tougher for me, but I've finally settled, though, on Stephanie Zimbalist for her very well-played character Laura Holt in Remington Steele. Opposite of Pierce Brosnan, she is fantastic. Stephanie maintains that strong female persona and keeps Brosnan from getting out of line as an actor and as his character. She's been overlooked the last few years, and I think this is her year to finally win for her great work as Laura.
I didn't see that coming, but I like where you went with it. I think I'm gonna put my chips on Ellen Corby this year. She's been putting in some strong scenes in The Grandmother on the Waltons.
Yes. Yeah.
She has a great look in her eye and always conveys the message, whether in a lesson or a joke. She nails it.
Man, a tough category all around. So now we find ourselves looking at the supporting actors in a drama series.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Max Headroom has already won Emmys for editing, hair, and makeup. I think it's Chris Young's turn to win their biggest award yet, in his role as Bryce Lynch, the bright 18-year-old young man. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you here, although I do like your style. But I have to say, come on, really? Chris Young instead of Noah Wyle? His role as John Carter on ER is a driving storyline on that show, and he makes it what it is. The acclaim doesn't come from Clooney alone, Clearly, or I'd feel differently about not choosing, spoiler alert, Clooney as the outstanding lead.
Okay, let's go right on into the outstanding lead actor in drama then.
Let's start with Larry Hagman, playing in Dallas as the #1 man, J.R. Ewing. Such suspense, such talent, such an asset to an otherwise mediocre show. If they killed him off, the show would end.
Well, let's hope they keep him around for their sake, huh? I couldn't agree more with your take, except for one minor detail.
Oh, what's that?
That Larry Hagman deserves the lead actor award. No, I think Bruce Boxleitner, who performs as Lee Stetson in Scarecrow and Mrs. King, does a great job as the lead male in this drama. He pulls off the tough guy with a smile thing real well. I'd like him to take the award with no contest.
I'm curious then to hear about your pick for leading women in a drama series. Unfortunately, I find this category a difficult one. I think I've found my star, though. How about you?
Oh, I think Tatiana Maslany is just wonderful in Orphan Black. She's really done extraordinary things in her journey, starting out acting in Canada and then starring in Heartland, and now what she's done in Orphan Black is wonderful.
Gina, what are you talking about? Does that show even exist in the U.S.? Are you sure she's still not in Canada? Are you in Canada?
It's a new show.
A new show?
That's correct.
How come I don't know about it? I thought we were doing pretty well staying up to date with these things.
I was introduced to this recently.
Really? I think we need to talk. How long have you been watching a new show? And when? Are you sneaking around with a television?
Now is not the time for this.
Well, it is time for me to talk about a real, more well-known and accomplished lead actress. I'm talking about Linda Carter, a true Wonder Woman. Not just in her starring role as Wonder Woman, but as an actress. The way she moves in that outfit and delivers her lines, it's incredible. I bet your TV friend can't do that.
Can we move on?
How about lead actor in a comedy series?
You know, Matthew, as an actress, I performed many lead and supporting roles. My first big role was the lead in Annie. I was very young, performing with some very talented older actors. I also had to perform with a dog. It's very hard to perform with animals.
I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Well, Matthew, I believe that it takes quite a bit of talent to consistently perform with an animal, but I think it takes an incredible amount of discipline and time to perform well as an animal. Therefore, I think the one upset in the Emmys this year will be in this category. I think it will be the raw, genuine talent of Bamboo Harvester that steals a category in the comedy genre from I Love Lucy.
Bamboo Harvester?
Yes. In his role as Mr. Ed, the amazing talking horse.
He's a horse! Of course!
How about your pick?
Well, I had to think long and hard on this one. But I finally decided that I believe Sherman Hemsley, in his role as George Jefferson, is going to blow this category out of the water. I'm not sure if you've seen that strut, you know, as he's like walking around and talking to Wheezy. It's phenomenal. It's like, I don't know, he's so natural. I'm not sure how anybody's going to beat him.
Those are all the picks I was able to get.
Yeah, the other categories are really difficult, but you know, I'm really curious about this Max Headroom show thing. I'd like to see where that goes.
Well, I guess we'll find out on Sunday.
All right, I'll see you there.
See you there.
All right. Since we're no longer talking about this whole television thing on air, which we will be talking about off the air, how about you give us another song? Thanks, Gina. It was June 1981. And Lawrence Brownhair had decided he was going to leave Tonkahogen, and he was going to make his way into the depths of the Canadian territories. For most people his age, finding their way into adulthood and living in Tonkahogen, they would go on journeys too. Some of them did venture into the deep Canadian territory. But that was to try to find themselves, to try to find out who they are and where they belong. And that's what everybody does in Tonkahogen. They have to figure out where they belong. But Lawrence wasn't going into the deep of Canada to find out who he was. He was going into the deep of Canada to find a young man who was around the same age as him, only a year older than him, who was doing an incredible thing. There's a young man, by the name of Terry Fox, who not too long before had found out he had cancer in his leg, and they had to amputate his leg just above the knee. And Terry was an active young man, and he didn't like to be stuck with one leg. He actually ended up winning some national championships as a wheelchair basketball player, but that wasn't really doing it for him, and he was tired of hearing all of these stories about other people having cancer, and so he decided he was going to do a couple of things. That he was going to put on his prosthetic leg, and he was going to run from one coast of Canada to the other. And Terry set off. And he decided that not only was he going to make this journey, and that he was going to run every day until he got to the other coast. Almost 6,000 kilometers. But he was going to try to raise awareness and money for the Canadian Cancer Society. And Lawrence heard this story, and he wanted to, God, if he could just shake Terry's hand. Probably not a possibility, but at least he'd be able to see the man that was doing this. So when he finally made it, he just stood on this long stretch of Canadian road. It was one of the very few stretches that Lawrence had ever seen in this vast country that was so straight. Most roads that he ever traveled on went up and down hills and around curves and through towns and around corners, and this piece of the Canadian countryside was beautiful. All wild flowers, and just this incredibly long, straight stretch. And off in the distance, like that nuisance fly that you just can't ever get it out of your vision. It's just always flying. Sometimes they kind of hover in one spot just out of your reach. And that's what this was. Just that one little spot on the horizon, just feeling like it was out of Lawrence's reach. And it got bigger. And pretty soon behind that little dot were all of these other dots. And they got bigger. And he could tell, just by the energy of it, just by the way the wind almost completely stopped, and how the sun just seemed to light up that one spot. He knew that this was Terry. And as he got closer, that almost awkward stride that Terry had to run with to get that extra oomph off of his prosthetic leg. It wasn't a steady gait like you would imagine any marathon runner. But as he stood there and watched, Lawrence was struck by the idea that this was a marathon runner. And not just any marathon runner. Terry Fox averaged 26 miles a day. He ran a full marathon every day to get to his almost 6,000 kilometer goal. And this gait, this awkward bounce and step, had a rhythm to it, just like any other runner. And like so many things in life, Lawrence could hear it. Way before he could ever hear the feet hitting the pavement or the steady, strong breathing of the runner. In his head, he could hear that rhythm. He could hear the beat. And it pounded out this lovely lullaby. And Lawrence watched, and he could hear it. And he could hear music. And it was all timed out in the runner's steps. And before he realized, Lawrence had broken out into applause. One lone man on this long stretch of Canadian road. But the wildflowers seemed to start applauding with him. And he could hear Terry Fox breathing as he pounded out his steps. And he pounded out that rhythm that was pounding out the song that Lawrence was listening to. It was beautiful. And they could watch. They could all watch together. Wildflowers and Lawrence, one large crowd. But one man applauding louder than any of them. And he stopped breathing. He held his breath as Terry jogged by. And they made eye contact for just a second. And in his holding, the holding of his breath, Lawrence was still breathing. He could almost feel like he was breathing with Terry. Those strong, steady breaths that got this man as far as he'd gotten already. And Lawrence went home, and he spent 2 days completely silent. There was no words to express what he had witnessed. And he listened to the radio broadcasts every day as they tracked Terry's progress across the country. Pretty soon those radio broadcasts stopped. And Terry fell short of his goal. His cancer had spread to his lungs. He ended up being hospitalized with pneumonia. All the time saying that he was going to get over it. And he was going to work through it. And he was a national hero. And he had raised so much money and so much awareness and was given so many awards and so much respect and love. So when Lawrence finally heard that Terry had passed away, he got back in his car and he drove back to that spot. And it was a much different time of year now. And those wildflowers were dried, still standing, still strong and stiff, but lacking the color, lacking the ability to flow in the wind without turning to dust, lacking the ability to applaud with Lawrence. And again, in that spot, before he realized what he was doing, it wasn't an applause this time. But Lawrence found himself jogging down the road in the same direction that he watched Terry. Right past that spot where they'd made eye contact for just a second. And Lawrence could feel it. And he was jogging in that same awkward rhythm. And it worked. And it pounded out that song. And it pounded out that rhythm. Lawrence made it about a mile before he realized he had to stop and catch his breath. He was no 26-mile-a-day runner. But he turned around, and he could still hear those footfalls on the pavement in that awkward cadence, and he finally realized the song that those feet were pounding out the rhythm to. This is my home, this is my only home, This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone? Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Well, once again, you've made it through another episode of On the Porch Radio Hour. And I really want to thank James Toy for being here and making it through an episode of On the Porch Radio Hour. It was an excellent connection to make. And I'm really proud to have been able to meet you, and I wish you all the greatest success. And I know that I'll be doing my part in helping that success happen because I'm going to talk you into letting us record a radio show there. I mean, isn't that? And I'm going to eat the food. And I'm going to drink the coffee. Decaf doesn't work. Even if it's that whole Swiss water process thing. I digress. Let's move on. I'm getting the sign. But I want to thank everybody on Concert Window for listening. Thanks for being here and watching. I want to thank everybody that's listening on our website, www.ontheporch.weebly.com. Thanks for checking out all of our archived shows. And if you know anybody that you want to promote that lives in the central New York area that's doing really cool things like James Toy and all of the other guests that we've had, give us a shout. Call us, send us an email, let us know. Because we want to keep supporting you, and we want to thank you for your continuing support as well. Next week, Thursday the 24th, we're going to be on Main Street in Mexico at Black Creek Cafe. Come check it out. They have some really tasty treats there as well. And they sell this really interesting root beer that they have to get shipped in specially and then go to Syracuse and pick up. I don't know the full story, but I'm going to tell it next week. And I'm going to be drinking root beer while I tell it. So until then, peace to your journey.
On the Porch is a production of the Wood and Apple Farmstead with host and writer Matthew Wood. Our sound technician and musical director is Gina Holsama. Our stage manager is Ray Monet. Find information about past shows, being on the porch, and much more online at ontheporch.weebly.com.